I'm Scott. I design, build, and repair woodworking pieces. I'm opening up the doors to my shop to help you become a better woodworker. My wife and I decided to renovate our staircase. We had gold and oak handrails and spindles and really worn out carpet. We've decided to close in the stair stringers, beef up the newel posts, add some wainscoting, and paint it all out to give it a more traditional look. This renovation is going to take a few episodes, so please stay tuned. In this episode, we'll cover off how to build wainscoting on angles. This is a look of the paneling here. We've got 2.5-inch sides, and it's just 1/2-inch material stuck to the wall. Inside is a 1/4-inch material, just filling in the space between the border. And then on top of that is panel mold. So it's a fairly straightforward design, fairly easy to put together with mitered corners. And then underneath we've got a 5.5-inch baseboard, and I cut this at 7.5 inches. So the reveal here is smaller than what's at the sides, but I just think that gives it a nice built-in look. I'm going to show you how to put all this together. Here you can see the end of the steps that I cut off so they were flush against the wall. This allowed us to put up this closed stringer, and on this side put the paneling in. You can see here why we're putting this paneling up, to disguise all this mess. So I've already installed the 1/2-inch pieces here, which is the frame, and I've pre-primed the panel, and this 1/4-inch panel just sits inside here. So the next step after that is to put on the panel mold. But the challenge with this is figuring out how to miter corners like this and like this. So I'm going to show you how that's done. For panels like this, I draw up a sketch. So here I've got the 2 panels I showed you, and I write the measurements down of each of the points end to end. And I do this in millimeters because I find it easier to be more accurate. Then what I do is I find the angles and record them on my sheet. Now finding those angles can be a simple thing if you've got the right tool. This is a mite-r-gage, and it just goes inside here. Twist that to a lock, and then you can get an accurate reading on what those measurements are. So here we've got an angle of 66 degrees. Over on this side, I just have to line up this leg and that inside the pocket, and then tighten it. The mite-r-gage is telling me I've got an angle of 48 degrees, so half of that is 24. 24 is what I'm writing on my sheet to go cut in the workshop. For cutting these miters, you need an accurate miter saw. To get to 66 degrees, I need to subtract 45. So that gives me 21. So I set my miter saw to 21 and lock it in. I add 45 degrees to that, which gives me 66, and then I'm ready for my cut. Then for the other side, it's just a matter of moving it over to 21 degrees. Adding the 45, and then making the cut. Now I bring my pieces in here and I test fit them. So there's the first piece. There's the second piece. Perfect fit. Now that I have a good miter here, the most challenging cut, I can use this point to measure off my next piece. So this is where the diagram comes in. I've got the distance here of how long I need to be and the angle of the next piece. So I'll work my way around cutting the moldings, and then I'm ready to install. With all the pieces cut, I go through and do a test fit. So there's the bottom and the right. The top, and then that little left side. Nice snug fit. Okay, so with everything working there, I'm going to glue the panel in and nail on the trim. Now before I glue that on, I just want to mark out where I can nail these pieces. and I'm good to go. Might seem like overkill, but I like to add a little bit of glue to these miters. It just gives me a little bit more confidence that after it gets nailed, it's going to stay in place. I just put glue to the back of the joint, minimize the squeeze out. And then as I nail it, I just make sure I've got a nice tight joint. Now just a little bit of nail hole filler. And once that's dry, sand and prime, and it'll be ready for painting. If you want to take on a project like this, here are the keys to success. Use quality tools such as mite-r-gage and a good quality miter saw. Sketch out the panels you're building. That way you've got a spot that you can write down all your measurements and angles. Consider using millimeters to measure parts. And lastly, glue the miters to keep them in place. This is the first video in a series of how we renovate this staircase. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe and you'll be notified when the next ones come out. Thanks for watching and enjoy your time in the workshop.